Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. Max, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing good one. How about you?
I'm doing a little bit better than you. Max is a soldier
Yeah,
today, bro.
yeah, yeah. You said I had things to do during the draft. Those things were 7 hours of commercial free throwing up and shitting out water would be the
I mean, I,
correct
I
term.
hope it
It was
wasn't anything
horrible.
that you ate over here. Was it the sun kiss? Was it the
No, no, God,
tots?
no. Don't the dots. I think it was Chipotle. I had like the day later, but like Chipotle has never got me like this. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. It was bad.
Well, shout out to Max being a soldier today, coming on the show for us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have. You guys have been doing absolutely amazing. We got some new subscribers.
Yeah.
Been getting a lot of controversy on one video on the Chiefs.
Oh
Max, it's
God.
just
Oh, I thought it was the Caleb Williams one. I'm like, you know what? Now everyone knows the fucking guy, right? I mean, I'm
yeah,
gonna curse. I'm not feeling well, but
yeah.
it's like, oh my God, you guys are so skinny. You're the reason the analysts are bad. You're the reason. Yeah, yeah, us. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Don't. What
look
happened on the? What happened on the?
on
What
the
happened on the
Chiefs.
Xavier Worthy video?
Oh well, they were they were
Are there
going.
comments?
Yeah, there's a bunch of comments from
Hold
Chiefs
on,
fans.
hold
I
on,
mean, Chiefs
hold on. Let
Kingdom
me hold
coming
on.
after
I haven't watched the video. Hold on.
coming
Let me. Can
after.
I read them?
Yeah, go ahead, go
Hold
ahead.
on.
They're all saying that he's a
He's
route
not a
runner.
one-trick pony.
There you
40% of his catches were around the line of scrimmage. He can run the full route tree. No, you're wrong. Yeah. Okay. Jerry Rice, I guess. People forget Hill was a running back in college, and it took time for him to learn his. Tyree Worthy was far more polished than Hill. Okay. God, every what three routes did he run? What
I-
three routes?
I-
I'm just saying, bubble screen,
yep.
come back and go. I didn't
Yep.
see anything else.
Yeah. Look,
He's a good route runner.
regardless, a lot of guys.
You know what? Hey, these guys said the same shit about John Ross. I said the same shit about John Ross. Oh, he's just not just a speed guy. He's a route
Right.
runner.
Right.
It didn't matter. It
But
doesn't matter.
this is the thing, Max. Today's a perfect example because we're gonna be victims of this too. All right, we're gonna do winners and losers today, and this is before any of these guys lay a fucking foot on the football field. So, a lot of these evaluations, a lot of these grades, a lot of these opinions, they're either gonna go sour or they're gonna be good in 3 years because it takes time. Some guys pop onto the scene early, some guys take a while to bloom. Some guys are busts, some guys are amazing. So it goes both ways. The way I see it, any publicity is good publicity. Y'all motherfuckers are watching the video. That's all I know from Chiefs Kingdom. Fuck the Chiefs, but whatever. Because I mean,
I actually read something I wrote to talk about the draft,
yeah,
to talk about winners and losers because I don't really believe there's a couple of drafts I hated. There's actually one draft I hated, one pick in retrospect, but
right,
I'm okay. And I watch and I read like articles about stuff like looked at the Ringers grade of the first round. I looked at ESPN's. I looked at Bleacher Report just to see what the pundits were thinking because I was like I don't recall ever saying like I recall one F to Michael Penix. I don't recall saying like I was like I get that pick and there's a difference between like I wasn't big on Bo Nix. But can I see the vision of Sean Payton to take a quarterback in the first round and
right.
be like, I can get behind this? It wasn't outrageous for Bo Nix to go in the first round. Excuse me. Sorry, fixing my mic. It's not outrageous, right? So there's teams that I don't agree with where the players were picked, but I'm like, well, you took this guy, you surrounded him like a winner for me. And I don't want to get into it too early as Arizona, and I don't really love all the players they picked, but I'm like, hey, you're doing it like this, and it's like I see where you're heading. You're like, hey, we're gonna get everything, bang, 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 and like a team like the Broncos, we're probably not going to talk about today, right? I don't love their draft, but I'm like, I see it. I see the vision, right? I see where there's where you're trying to grow in certain areas. So there's a difference between hating a draft, disliking it, and being like, I get behind that. I can understand what the GM was looking. At least like you see a plan, right?
Yeah.
What I can live with one is a vision. But with one loser, there's no vision. It's just like that's puzzling to me. It's just puzzling. Like
Yeah, look,
it still don't make sense.
we're gonna be using the word loser very loosely today because it was hard. It was hard to find some losers. It's just necessarily like I wouldn't have gone there with a lot of these guys, like a lot of these teams. You gotta have a good blend. You gotta have a good blend of drafting BPA, but at the same time getting some good value with positional needs that you need on your team.
Like I don't know if you have the Raiders for a winner, and I don't want to just bring them up because they're your crappy football team. But like the Brock Bowers pick, at the moment I was like, well, you have Mayer, you don't really need him. But then it's like, well, he's a big weapon. They're building a nucleus for whatever quarterback they're gonna get because they're not content, right?
Yeah.
But they did the smart thing. They didn't just go, well, like if they took Spencer Rattler in the second round, I would have been like, no, this is a stupid pick. This is dumb.
Yeah.
Because you overreacted to all the quarterbacks being drafted, right? That's not what they did. And it's kind of like, well, you didn't need two tight ends, but it's like, hey, you have weapons. That's all you care about nowadays, just getting weapons and weapons and weapons. And that's where I can get behind the Raiders draft, where it's like, hey, you got a top 5 player, really. You got like a top 5 player.
Right. So, like I said today, winners and losers. I feel like we can start off with the losers, and like I said, we're using this term a little loosely today. All right, I'm gonna start off because I don't think these were like terrible drafts. Okay, we're gonna start off with the Chargers. The Chargers were a loser for me, and it's nothing crazy. The Joe Alt, I get it, but at the same time, I thought J.C. Latham was the number 1 offensive tackle. Number 2, they went with Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey, to me, I wouldn't have gone there for in the Chargers position. I don't think they're in a position to get a guy like Ladd McConkey as like, oh, we're going to bring you in. You're going to be our number 1 receiver. That's not the case. Like, they need a number 1 guy. McConkey's not that. I see McConkey as a very good 2, maybe a very good 3 possibly. I didn't really like the pick personally. Junior Colson.
I don't see the problem with the Ladd McConkey pick. One, it's just getting a weapon. It's like, yeah, he's not going to hit his true potential next year, right? He needs an alpha. He's not a Batman. But can he be a cool Robin? Can he be a Hunter Renfrow in the slot in his prime? I'm sorry I interrupted you. Keep going.
And then Junior Colson, I felt like it was a homer pick. They got him in the 3rd round. I feel like that was a Jim Harbaugh pick.
He recruited him. He's like, hey, I'm going to get you paid one day.
They even got the Cornelius Johnson in the 7th that I don't even have on here. But like,
who cares?
Homer pick. Yeah, but like homer pick.
But who cares? 7th. No, Cornelius Johnson he's a draftable player though. Like it's not a bad player. They got Brendan Rice too. Yeah. I was shocked he went at 7th round, but that's just stupid NFL stuff.
And then the other guy that I half decently like, I like the value in the 5th round. They got Cam Hart from Notre Dame, who's not all that bad. Look, I just felt like they could have done better. They could have got receivers that were a little bit better, in my opinion, for their situation, and including in tackle. Like I said, it's just more of I wouldn't have gone there. So it's using the term loser.
What do you think their plan was, though? The Chargers' game plan. And you're like, what was this draft about to you? For like, what were they trying to do?
They were trying to improve their team mentally, like physically and mentally. Like,
I think they're trying to change the team's identity. Yeah, like to change the team identity, right? And I think that's what they accomplished. So that's why I don't have them, and that's why I don't dislike the draft. Are there better players? Yeah, I wouldn't have gone Joe Alt first. I would have went J.C. Latham. But do I understand? Hey, was Joe Alt the safest of Latham and Mims? Oh, for sure.
And they
highest floor.
And they picked their guy. Sometimes that's what it comes down to. Like, I like this guy better. He's our guy. That's how Harbaugh felt. I get it, okay? That's why I started off with them first. Don't take it so to heart, Charger fans, that like I'm shitting on.
If you're gonna give them a grade, it's not like you're going an F. You're probably gonna go like a C. Like it's whatever, right?
It's not bad at all.
But in years past, we've done this. We're like, oh, that's a horrible draft. And no offense, your team has been responsible for some of those drafts. Yes. No offense, my team has made some questionable picks. Every team has, right? Yeah. Just my little 2 cents on the Chargers. I like what they've done. I think I'm obviously a homer. I'm a Charger homer. But what this draft signified to me, the first two picks were about their franchise quarterback, who they have hundreds of $1 millions in. I accept that. And the rest of the draft until the 7th round was, hey, let's get character guys who are going to change the identity of our defense. That's what they're going to be. It's not going to be next year. I think in a year, this defense is going to look a lot tougher. And just Jim Harbaugh. They're going to take on the personality of their head coach.
Yeah.
Just tough, mean SOB.
And probably one more thing on the Chargers. The way that I see it is the one regret they might have coming out of this draft in about 3 years is if Rome Odunze winds up being like freaking amazing, which I think he is, and you pick Joe Alt, who's kind of like underwhelming. Let's say he gets a McGlinchey type career, right? And then Lamb McConkey winds up not being the guy. It's like, man, we could have just got a tackle in the second round, pick Rome Odunze in the first, and man, like our investment would have been a lot more better in those players. That's the way I was looking at it. But like I said, not mad at it. I can be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Prove it. But that's how I feel about the Chargers. Who's your one?
I'm gonna do a very similar thing to you. I don't hate this draft. I just don't agree with it. That's the Detroit Lions, and I mean, I have a little statement written. I wrote a little statement about each, and I'm just gonna read it word for word. The Lions, they do whatever they want. In the last couple of years, we've been critical of them, and everything they've done has been great. I think Jameson Williams is going to be a player for them. Last year, we were hating on Jahmyr Gibbs for how early it was. Yeah. Well, week 10, we were like, no one was saying that. Jack Campbell looks like a good player. He's going to pan out. But what broke my heart about this draft is they went Terrion Arnold, who I'm not very high on, didn't have him in there. I just think they got more corners that are going to just do what the Lions do, is just play zone and be passive and just play hard against the run, and we'll call some creative things. I don't think this improved their defense. I think it just made it – let me rephrase. It improved the floor. It didn't raise the ceiling of the defense. That's the way I should say it. I think they're going to be fine guys. Ennis Rankstraw, probably be a good safety. I feel like they already have the safety hybrid guy, Brian Branch from last year, who we freaking love, a value guy. Giovanni Manu, British Columbia University. We'll see how that goes. Mekhi Wingo, he's cool in the 6th round. I love Christian Mahogany. I love that in the 6th. I think that's going to be like their best pick for value. But again, I don't hate the draft, man. It's just like, could you have gone Nate Wiggins right there and got like a real difference maker? Like, to me, there's no way Terrion Arnold could be the difference maker Nate Wiggins is. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I can see like, hey, we know our defensive backs are trash. And I'm like, okay, at least you addressed it. At least you tried to address it. And I don't think they took people. I'm like, well, that's Damon Arnett in the 3rd round they're picking. No offense. I'm not trying to, but I'm just saying he's the corner I think of. Yeah. But it's just a touch early for me. It's like, Nate Wiggins was there. You don't find a lot of human beings that ran 4.3 at 6 feet tall. Now, does he fit their play style of the toughness? Maybe not, but I wouldn't have said that about Baltimore, and there he is.
Yeah. The one thing I would say about the Lions draft, like, I'm kind of on the same like boat how you felt about the Chargers. I don't think they're losers. I love the Terry.
Again, I don't like the word losers. I don't think they're losers. It's not like, wow, they just freaking bombed it.
Right. The Ennis Rakestraw pick, I get it because they lost a guy like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who's kind of comped to that guy similarly. So I get the need. I get the value that they saw on him. And then
you see the plan.
Yeah, you see the plan. And then both of those guys, Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, they fit what the Lions want in a player. It's hard-nosed, like they tackle hard. Like they're just
well-coached,
tough players. Yeah, exactly.
They're tough. Yeah.
So you see the vision. It's just like what I said with the chart. It's not who we would have picked. That's all it comes down to. Which, if we're wrong, we're wrong. But we had to pick a loser. Me and Max wanted to do 3 losers, 3 winners. These are the teams we came up with. I'm gonna go on to my next loser, which is the San Francisco 49ers. I've seen a lot of different opinions on them. Of course, they draft Slick Rick out of Florida, wide receiver.
Is that what they're calling him?
Yeah, that's his
That's
nickname.
pretty cool.
Renardo Green from Florida State in the second round. Dominique Pooney, a guy that they traded up for in the third. Isaac
New
Garendo,
Matt
who
Breida. Yeah, new Matt Breida.
yeah, Isaac Garendo's like the Kyle Shanahan special, the typical, zone run scheme runner. And Jacob Cowing, who I like the value at in the fourth round.
I like
A little,
Cowling too.
yeah, a
Mhm.
little slot guy, with great value. But look, I just think I wouldn't have gone here. I see some of the reasoning around it. I just feel like this is too much of a Kyle Shanahan type draft. And before, I felt like you can see a lot of Adam Peters on here or John Lynch type guys. And I feel like they went all in this year on just Kyle type dudes. Like,
Not a lot of edges in here too for a team that
yeah,
lost a
like
lot of defensive line help.
right.
I would say this one thing about this draft, and I know the Niners don't have a lot of holes, right?
Right.
They didn't really attack the main hole, which was offensive line, until the third round. And Pooney's a solid guy. I wouldn't say he's like, wow, you got Quentin Nelson or you have an All Pro. Hey, maybe he might be, but I just don't see that right now.
Right.
Does this draft make a lot of sense if there's a Brandon Ayuk trade or Debo trade? Yeah, now where it's like, oh, okay, it makes more sense. But right now we're still out in the world of going to play all three of these guys. I mean, Rashawn Jennings is pretty freaking good.
Right.
He's a good piece for them. And I know you worry about Debo's health because he gets hurt every year.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not really sure where this
Yeah,
draft
I'm
pick
just
really
kind
moves
of
the needle for them.
yeah, I'm uneasy on it. I felt like they could have went different directions, and this was a stacked class in the draft, and I thought they could have done a better job. Like I said, I
Who
and
would you
that's
have
that I
picked? Would you hate? Is it the first rounder that really gets it for you, or is it kind of just like
yeah, the
the
first rounder
identity of the
because
tree?
there was other offensive tackles on the board that they could have got. Renardo Green, another one. Like I know he's a press man to man corner. That's what they like. He's physical, but I felt like they could have went maybe corner in the first and then wide receiver in the second, just the way that the board was
Who
playing.
who do you take though?
Maybe 80 Mitchell in the
Coo-
second.
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah,
You could have
Cooper
taken Cooper
DeJean.
DeJean.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have mind if they got like a Johnny Newton. I could have been
Well,
like, yeah,
and
that
the
makes
funny thing
sense.
was, Max, the funny thing was, is there was a report that came out that got you on Twitter that the pick was Cooper DeJean in the
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
And
No,
we
it
were
got me.
excited about it. We gave a grade and everything. Like, we kind of got it. Like, oh, okay. Like, versatile dude, they can use him. But they wound up going Slick Rick, who is not a bad player. I'm a big fan of Ricky Purcell, bro.
I do
And,
too. I just don't see like there's a lot of pass catchers they need.
yeah.
I,
But,
I mean, I really would have went Johnny Newton if I were them. Just looking quickly, like
right.
I would have loved another disruptive guy on the inside. I don't think they've had a really disruptive dude since not to DeForest Buckner's stature since like
Hargrave.
Javon Kinlaw. I
Hargrave's
mean
not it.
Hargrave is. I don't think Hargrave's as good as. I mean, I feel like his best year was the last year on the Eagles, and he's kind of hasn't been
Right.
as good since.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they put so much money in Hargrave, and it's like he was just underwhelming last year. So that
I would
free
agree.
agent signing needs to pan out for them. All right.
Do you want to hit another loser, or you want me to hit one?
No, go ahead. Say your second
I'm
loser,
gonna
Max.
I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I'm gonna go with the Jags, and it's not again like, oh my god, what a bomb of a draft. Hey, I love the first pick they made. Brian Thomas is a real difference maker for them. I think he's a guy who they haven't had in their offense. What do I mean by that? It's just you think about the receiving core of the last 3 years. Calvin Ridley for this last year only, right? And then for 1 year.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, Cameron Kirk, anyone really dynamic?
No.
Who's their most dynamic guy?
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis. Yeah, this is a difference maker. This is a guy who has a rare skill set. Like Xavier Worthy, I think this guy's a better prospect than Xavier Worthy. Not trying to keep harping on him, but it's kind of like, hey, there's not a lot of guys who are 6'3" and run 4.3.
Right.
Now, I understand people are going to say, well, there's not a lot of 5'10" guys that run 4.2. Hey, 6'3" and 4.3 is more rare. I hate to be the breaker of bad news. You go to the NFL, there's not a lot of huge, well, now there is, but there's always like this size of, if you can get some big fucker like him and get him going, he's just a game changer. Like, you can't contain that type of dude. And that's what I love about this pick. It's just like a swing for the fences. Sometimes for the first round, you have to take a big swing. We're going to probably do a video soon, and we're going to talk about some teams that just don't swing big. It's like, hey, do you want average players in the first round? Or you want good players?
Yeah, you want good.
You want difference makers. You want guys who can. Hey, Chris Jones was an early second round pick. What's Trent McDuffie won? First round pick. What's Patrick Mahomes? What's Josh Allen?
Yeah.
What's Von Miller? These are first round picks. A lot of good players in the NFL, or especially lately, are first round picks. You have to take big swings on physical freaks of nature. That's what they did. I like that. Now, obviously, you always going to get guys in the late rounds, and of course, you're going to get guys undrafted. But with the first round pick, you're not drafting. There's a pool of 700 players. You're not just trying to find a diamond. You're trying to find, like, you have a lot of chances to hit. It's not like, hey, everyone's gone. Now there's like 10 guys left. No.
Yeah.
So that's what I like. But Mason Smith, again, too
terrible.
Early. Much too early. Didn't like him.
I didn't like it. I thought that was the worst pick that they had. They could have got a lot better value with a lot different players. Like I was just not a big fan of Mason Smith. And then the other guy, Jordan Jefferson, the edge out of LSU. They went couple LSU
I like
kids.
him more than I like Mason Smith. I mean, that's the fourth round. And I don't like Jerry Jones, the corner out of Florida State.
Yeah.
I didn't like – I mean, it's pretty easy to play – hey, check out the Eagles corners last year. Hey, when the pressure ain't getting there, it's easy.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's easy to pick them apart. But Super Bowl year, it's like, oh, shit, and the Eagles corners aren't that bad. No, they are. It's easy to when the quarterback can't take a 3-step drop.
No.
Exactly. Other than that, the draft was pretty mid. Like I don't hate it. I don't. I just think the Mason Smith picks really early. The Jerry Jones was early. I don't mind Javon Foster. Don't mind Jordan Jefferson. Don't mind those guys. Mm-hmm. But just too early for the other guys.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one on the Jags. That was a good pick. I'm going to go to my last loser. I'm going to go to the Carolina Panthers, who I just wasn't a big fan of. Look, I like the Xavier Leggett pick, and that's about it. Everything else,
we are calling for it too. We are calling for it.
Yeah. They need a guy like him. They need a dynamic player that can, run with the ball in his hands. Something, hey, just get a little quick dump off, give us a first down, like he's Deebo Samuel-esque.
Or maybe a touchdown. How about a touchdown?
Or maybe a touchdown. Look, in the second round though, I just did not agree with the value. There wasn't a single running back picked in the second round. And I think that's for good reason. I think a lot of teams,
except for Jonathan Brooks,
and I felt like that was really telling to see what the other teams did in the second round. And they're over here picking Jonathan Brooks, who I don't even think was the best running back out of this class. If you like Jonathan Brooks, hey, good for you. You probably love that pick. I don't. Trevin Wallace from Kentucky, linebacker. I thought they could have got some better linebackers on the board at the time. Jatavion Sanders, a tight end from Texas, project guy.
I like him. Though. I think there's some upside to Jatavion Sanders. But yeah, I mean that's a 4th round pick. It's kind of a swing. No big deal. You missed it.
And I think the best pick that they had that's probably going to pan out and give them the most value here, besides Xavier Leggett, was Smith Wade from Washington State University. Fit in the 5th round. I felt like that was one of their better picks, but I just don't like it, man. In their first 5 picks, they didn't pick a single lineman. I know you signed Robert Hunt, but hey, maybe we get an opportunity where we can kick Icky into guard and maybe draft one of these tackles. This was a deep tackle class. You need to protect Bryce Young. So to me, it's like you could have done a lot better instead of picking a running back in the second round at pick 46 when you have a guy like Chuba Hubbard who's not all that bad.
Yeah. No, I would have said that. I would say this one. I'm not in love with Icky. He's a good tackle. I mean, I think this is the year we're gonna freaking know. Like, yo, what's up? Damian Lewis. He's a road grader. He's not a great pass blocker. Corbett. He's at the end of his career. Robert Hunt. He's good, but I don't think he's like, yo, don't worry about him. The whole
he signed him for a lot of money.
Yeah, no, but do you think like are any of those guys like, ooh, you have an all-pro on your offensive line? You could just no. Even Taylor Moton, who I like, I'm not like. And hey, one injury, it's all over. Unfortunately, you could.
Yeah. You can.
I would have.
I don't like the main thing to put it here, Max. None of those linemen on their team are worthy enough of passing up on a guy in the draft. Put it that way. You could It just bothers me that to protect a guy like Bryce Young, who we seen get beat the hell up last year, and you ain't pick a single lineman. That just bothers me.
Yeah, but people are gonna say, "Hey, we invested in they signed Damian Lewis, they got Robert Hunt," and I mean, I get that, but it shouldn't stop you from trying to get even better. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, they're kind of in a bind. I give them that. They're kind of in a bind
Right.
with their draft because of the horrible trade they made last year. I don't hate it what they did. I really don't, and I know
I
you
just
don't
disagree.
either. But
I just disagree, and I
and they
think
picked Jonathan Brooks at 46, right?
yeah, second round.
Okay, I'm just trying to see who went off the line. Like they could have got Zach
A lot
Frazier
of
would have
guys.
been a hell of a center.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They passed
Oh,
up
was
on a lot of
Jackson's
guys.
Powers gone already? Oh, yeah, he was already
believe
gone.
He was, yeah. He was
But they
gone.
could have traded up for him.
Yeah.
He was the pick 2 picks before, yeah.
Yeah. So look, not terrible, not terrible. It's just disagree with it. Let's get into your third loser, who we both agree on. And I
Oh,
think this
I think
this
the
one we're not
world-
using loosely. I think they had the worst draft on Thursday, bro, or this
the Atlanta
weekend, should I say.
Falcons.
Yeah.
It's the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, everyone who's listened to us has heard, anyone who's famous talk about this stupid pick. Look, I have a statement. I said this is obvious, right? They drafted a quarterback in Michael Penix, who's not a bad player. My 6th quarterback. Hey, if you didn't just pay somebody $150 million, I wouldn't be mad. The way the money breaks down, they owe him 25 for this year, cap hit, 40 million next year. If somehow he plays good enough to warrant a 2026 payday, 57.5. Hey, you cut him post June 1st, 12.5 million dead money. You say 45 million. If you don't, it's like a $45 million cap hit. And again, there's gonna be some weird shit about it. You know it as well as I do. Post June 1st, it's weird. Hey, what if he gets hurt the second year and he can't pass the physical?
Yep.
Now you're fucked.
Yep.
Again, we can't stress this enough, guys. The Seattle Seahawks understood the value that a rookie quarterback gave them in the market. The Eagles understood with Carson Wentz. They won Super Bowls. They were competitive for a long time. I know Carson Wentz didn't work out. I understand that. But they won a Super Bowl while he was on his rookie contract, and he was playing the best football he ever played. You cannot stress it enough. Hey, what the fuck did Houston Texans just do with the quarterback on a rookie contract? They're like, hey, let's go trade for a stud receiver. Let's just go spend money like crazy. Because, hey, we're going to have $40 million. That's 2 really good football players, Juan. That's a top-notch receiver and a good player somewhere, $10 million a year.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You couple that in with the fact that the GM goes, oh, if Michael Penix doesn't play for 4 or 5 years, that means we're having a great position. Oh, so you just blew a pick. You guys just burnt the fucking pick. Yeah. It's just stupid. I love the Root pick. I'm just gonna I love the Root pick. Good job, Braylon Trice. I don't get that he's not good to me. Whatever. Dorless is a swing and a miss, a swing or a miss. He's boom or bust. But at pick 8, why?
Here's my 2 cents on it. The more that I thought about it, the more that you just can't defend this. I get that he was a great player, right? On their board, obviously. And they couldn't pass him up. But my whole thing is like, you're working against yourself at this point. You're selling yourself short because you went all in this year with Kirk Cousins. When you're paying a quarterback that much guaranteed money, you're going all in. You feel like you have enough weapons on defense, offense. You got a new head coach. Hey, we're going to compete this year. And then you draft a guy like Penix, where there were so many other options out there for you to win this year.
Bro,
Michael Penix ain't going to help you win this year. I'm telling you that right now. He's not going to help you win this year.
Unless you start.
He's not going to start. There's no way.
And then here, what about this one? Oh, Kurt's hurt. Oh, Kurt's not playing his best. Oh, Penix is there looking great in practice every day. Oh, the team's divided. Oh, it just brings in it throw a wrench into the plans, bro. It's just throw a monkey wrench into stuff.
And
That's what I
then
don't like. And how would you have liked this one? What if I told you the draft class was this? Dallas Turner, Rook Orororo, Braylon Trice, Brandon Doris. You're like,
but look a
damn,
lot better. Yeah.
how about Quinyon Mitchell? You're like, oh, dude, no one was like, oh, the offense needs help. No, we're like, yo, get a receiver, maybe something.
I would have liked
It's just
them double dipping in receiver. I was saying that. I was like, hey, like, what if they go receiver right? Because everyone was mocking Dallas Turner. I'm like, hey, what if they go Brian Thomas right here? Like, I wouldn't have been all that mad. The fact that you didn't get a guy that's going to help you this year, okay? But number two, the biggest point, all this talk about, oh, we're going to let him sit for 4 or 5 years.
That's
My guy,
bullshit.
do you know he's 24 years old? He's one of the more older prospects in this draft. He's a fifth-year senior. There's no city.
He'll be 24 in a week, in a week and a half.
Guess who's older, Max? Him or Trey Lance?
I think he's older than Trey Lance, right?
Yes, he's older than Trey Lance.
Yeah. I already saw this, but yeah, it's a joke. And hey, everyone talking about Jordan Love, he got drafted in 2020. He was 21 when he got drafted.
Right. He was a young guy.
He sat there. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers didn't just – Aaron Rodgers was 38. So he already knew he was freaking old.
It's just not the same. Jordan Love was a project guy. If anything, like –
You picked Jordan Love at 25. You didn't pick him at 8.
Right.
You don't pick him. Yeah. Wow. It's just stupid. Bro, if they went Spencer Rattler in round 4, I would have been like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, why not?
Didn't like it at all. Did not like it.
No, I hate it. I think it's so stupid.
Look, we're using winners and losers. The only team I would legitly call losers for this draft are the Falcons, and I stand by that. Okay, all right, we're done with losers. Let's go to winners. Let's go on the lighter side. Okay, you want to start off with your winner, and then we'll go back.
I'm gonna go the Patriots as a winner for me.
Okay.
Let me explain what I mean. And again, it's not like, I loved every one of their picks. They picked the best out of everybody. No. But what I loved was last year one with Mac Jones, and they had a subpar offense and a really good defense, you would say. You know what they did with their first 3 picks? You remember who their first 3 picks were from last year?
Probably.
Do you have an idea who? No. Do you know what? Do you remember what positions they played? They picked 3 defensive players to start the year last year.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez, Keon White. This year, what they do, they spent their first 5 picks on offensive players. They got Drake May, Jalen Polk, I think is how they say it, Caden Wallace, Layden Robinson, Javon Baker. Hey, I don't really like Caden Wallace. I don't like Layden Richardson. But I'm like, I don't mind that they went 5 straight picks of offense. I'm like, that's the way to do it. I love that. They didn't just stand. And then the last thing they did was they didn't trade down from 3. They stood pat after hearing for how many weeks? 3 weeks they're trading down. It's just the phone can't ring enough.
Yeah.
The Patriots stood pat, took the number 2 quarterback on my board, Drake May. No disrespect to Jaden Daniels. They stood pat. They got their guy. They're rebuilding, and they helped their rookie quarterback. And if he doesn't play, they have Jacoby Brissett, who they just helped with Jalen Polk, Caden Wallace, Javon Baker, who was a nice value pick in the 4th round.
Yeah.
And then they somehow got my favorite quarterback, Joe Milton, who is a Cardale Jones replica.
Who's a great, hey, let's have a little mini insurance plan in case this whole thing.
This is the Kirk Cousins RG3.
Yeah, in case this whole thing burns to the ground, hey, we'll get Joe Milton. We'll take a flyer.
Hey, we got a Hail Mary specialist.
There you go. But I love their draft. I'm a big fan of Drake May. He's my number 2 quarterback. Also, Jalen Polk from Washington. One of my favorite receivers. Yeah, I love him to death, bro. Caden Wallace, like you said, not a guy that we absolutely love, but I get the need. Seen him on tape. Wasn't that bad. Javon Baker already seems like a dog. He's over here saying that he makes people that are crippled stand up. So
sick.
I already like the attitude from the dude, but I like their draft. I love the pick, Max. The Patriots definitely needed offense because they had a good defense last year. They were more than capable.
Do you think this draft would have went the same with Bill Belichick? No. I don't think they would have.
No.
I think it would have looked very different.
Yeah. most definitely. I think the fact that Gerard Mayo's there and they got somebody else in place. I think it's Kraft. I think one of his sons are having big hands in the draft for them. But uh, I like the direction they're going. They're getting some solid players, man. That I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love. Let's
Yeah.
go to one of my winners. I'm gonna go with the Bears, man. Uh, right off bat, obviously, Caleb Williams. Uh, they got the best
A
quarterback in the
real
draft.
a really shocker of a pick at one.
Right,
Who saw?
exactly.
Who knew?
Look, Caleb is amazing. Great tape. Hopefully he winds up panning out. I know there's a lot of personality things that people get on him for. Who I'm one of those people included at one point in the draft process, but you can't deny his talent. And then number 9, I feel like the best value pick in the draft, home run pick to me, Rome Aduze falls right into their lap at 9.
That's not who I thought you'd say. I thought you were going to say Austin Booker in the fifth round.
I, I'm almost there. And then they wind up getting Austin Booker in the 5th round from Kansas, who we absolutely love. Like, I think I just put these 3 players on here on the graphic just because I feel like these 3 guys are going to be cornerstones for their teams. I
Yeah.
truly feel like
I
that.
mean, I think they could have got a real steal in Austin Booker, man. I don't think I've ever beat on the table for like a player as much as I wanted him to be picked. And like, dude, we were like second round. Oh, so that'd be Austin Booker.
Right.
And I saw other people's boards and they were like, yo, Austin Booker's really high up there, like 40s. And then they were shocked too. So we'll see. I
And
think it's
look,
a
shout out to Bears fans. They are hype about it. We made an Austin Booker video calling him the gem of the draft, and as soon as that guy got drafted, that the video numbers just went up for Austin Booker, and Chicago fans are loving him, and you guys should. I think he's compared to Max Crosby, maybe not as athletic, but he's pretty damn close. I love his tape. I love his energy. He's just a fun player to watch, man. And they're gonna need him on defense. And the Bears are locked and loaded. The Bears are ready to compete for a playoff spot for that NFC North championship. They're gonna give the Lions a run for their money, man. They're stacked, bro.
and the Packers.
And the Packers, man.
Yes.
So I love the Bears draft. A+, bro. There were like no hesitation. I already knew that they were gonna be one of my winners in this video. Max, you want to go on to your next winner that you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Homer. I'm going the Eagles. It's not even about. I'm trying to keep it like as unbiased as I can. Our defensive backs last year were so pitiful, so bad, and the first two. Look, I don't love Cooper DeJean at corner. I love him at safety, hybrid role. Yes, I'll take that all day. Quinyon Mitchell's a dog. He was my number 2, but dude, I would have been happy with Nate. Would have been happy with Quinyon. And you've seen Eagles in the past around this pick. They're like, oh, there's Justin Jefferson. I think I'll just take Jalen Rager. Sounds good. Jalix Hunt. Hey, yo, I got to go back. I didn't watch any tape. I'm not going to lie. I don't know much about the kid. They're Houston Christian. Will Shipley's an okay guy. I love Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in the freaking 5th. I think he's going to play. And I love Johnny Wilson just as like a kind of fun weapon. I know they're talking about moving him to tight end and stuff because he's so big, but whatever. I'll just take him because I want dynamic pass catchers in Philly. I love what they did with the draft. They saw the weakness, didn't overthink it. The weakness was there last year, and we took Jalen Carter at 9 and then Nolan Smith. This year, they're like, nope, we are taking corners.
Yeah.
And I love what they did.
I love what they did too, man. I think they knocked it out of the park. Howie, doing magic again. And this time he didn't even like maneuver around the board all crazy. He
No,
sat.
and if I told you before the draft one, hey, Quinyon's going to be there at 22, you'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Right.
No way.
Yeah, that shit was not gonna be happening in our mock. I didn't believe it. But I love Johnny Wilson. Aeneas Smith from Texas A&M, who's a pretty good wide receiver. Another great value there, man. Just value all around the board. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Shipley from Clemson, but I did
No.
watch film on him, and I thought they got him at perfect value. I
I
like
would be like, yo, second, not in the second round, so
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah. But completely agree. And the whole Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, fucking get both of them. I love it, man. Play him at safety, play him at corner. I don't care. They got the dog of the draft in Quinion Mitchell. And point blank, period. Okay, that's what they needed. They need that in Philly. I feel like he's going to work out perfectly there. The Cooper DeJean pick, as far as Philly fan goes, I feel like it's if he gets cooked up at corner, he's going to, Philly fans are going to turn on him pretty quick. I can already see it in Max.
The Philly fans will turn on their No, please don't make me hate him. Don't make me hate him.
But you already seen it. Like, they asked him such a fucked up question, bro. Philly reporter, they were like, hey, there hasn't been a white corner in a very long time. How do you feel about that? And he was just like, I don't know, bro. I'm going to fight for a roster spot. Like,
yeah, I know.
Like, how you gonna say that shit to the dude?
They were also like bringing up the fact that he said he'd cut Slay and like all this dumb shit.
Oh,
Philly, what a place.
Yeah,
I love it. I want to go there one day. I've been there. I want to go there as an adult.
But love their draft. Great pick, Max. Definitely a winner. I'm gonna go to my second winner.
Raiders.
No, honestly, no. I do not have the Raiders on here. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as my second winner. Love what they did. They just picked guys that I loved in the draft, bro. Graham Barton in the first round, who I think is amazing. Chris Braswell, a little bit early, but he's a solid ass defensive lineman. He's gonna do his job. They kind of missed on that Joe Shrinka.
Traylon Shrinka.
Yeah. They missed on that pick.
I think he'll be he's solid, but he's not like first round.
And then I love the Tyke Smith pick in the third round, 89th overall out of Georgia.
I love the Jalen McMillan. I love Jalen McMillan after.
And then all of a sudden in the fourth, they get Bucky Irving from Oregon, who I was a fan of.
I don't like Bucky. But I'm like, in the fourth?
Exactly.
That's not bad. Like, that's where the value is. Hey, you didn't overdraft him.
Right. See, that's me and Max like to look at value. It's like, hey, Bucky Irving weren't huge fans of him. Even Max, not big fans of him.
It only took 6 drafts to learn value. Because
I'm a Raider fan. I don't know that.
It doesn't matter.
I'm a Raider fan.
It doesn't matter.
Got to learn the hard way.
Clelin Ferrell, fucking great.
But look, love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft, man. I think Tyke Smith, a guy that I compare to Mike Edwards, who plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He'll be nice with Winfield. Winfield. They'll be nice.
Yes.
And I think Jalen McMillan could be a really good slot guy. He's used to play next to 2 studs anyway.
Right.
So freaking what's Neil?
Yeah, and with Tyke Smith, play him in the slot, play him at safety. He's gonna be a dog. Really like what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. They knocked it out of the park. And look for them to compete in the NFC South, man. They won the division last year, right? With Baker.
Yeah. And they won a playoff game. They whooped the Eagles' ass.
Exactly.
At that point.
All right. Anything else on the Buccaneers, Max, or you want to move on to your winner?
My last winner is going to be a little surprising. Is the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, hey, you took Marvin Harrison. Perfect.
Home run.
Don't overthink it. Love the pick. Love the pedigree. Love what it's going to bring to your franchise. My next favorite pick was Darius Robinson. I love him so much. He's my man crush of the draft. He's a DN, D tackle hybrid. He's not a tweener. He's a D tackle that's so big he played edge at Missouri. Then they got my boy Max Melton. They got your boy Trey Benson in the third, which is a round right take him. I don't mind it. They got your boy Rabbit. And then they got this guy, Xavier Thomas, who I really like, who was a high pedigree guy who got really sick during COVID, lost like 30 pounds of muscle and never regained the speed. But it's like, hey, why not take a freaking flyer on that guy in the 5th?
Yeah.
And they had 12 freaking picks. They had 12 picks. They attacked a lot of holes with their roster, which is like, this was an improvement. It wasn't, hey, let's just trade down. Let's just get a few more picks. It was like, nope, this year we are making a push. If the Cardinals made the playoffs next year, I would not be shocked. Yeah. I really would not.
And to me, they're taking on the identity of
Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, of Jonathan Gannon.
Eagle great.
A lot of these players, bro, they're just hard-nosed ass fucking players, man. Dadrion Demerson, a.k.a. Rabbit from Texas Tech, I absolutely love. He's my man crush of the draft. in the 4th round. Great
Just feel
value.
what I say. That's cool. That's
Elijah
cool. You're original.
Elijah Jones from Boston College. I
Oh yeah, that
love.
was a good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he has great size. He ran like a 4.4. Kind of a guy that went under the radar. And then you guys know how I like Trey Benson, Marvin Harrison, home run pick. I think I was kind of pissed off when Max picked the Cardinals because they just had so many value picks. They needed to get that Cliff Kingsbury draft slash like team identity stench off their team, and they accomplished
Yeah,
that in this draft.
I agree.
Knocked
I
it out of
agree.
the park.
Who's your last winner? Or was you
Um,
already?
no, my last winner
Yo.
is the Baltimore Ravens. Okay,
Ooh.
uh, I man, they got Nate Wiggins at the 30th pick. What a fucking pick by the Baltimore Ravens. You talk about the Eagles staying put and drafting Quinion. They get the second best corner at pick 30. He's a dog. He's a cover guy. Fast as hell, blazing speed. Uh, Roger Rosengart Gardening.
Rosengarten.
Yeah,
A
from
lot of people had him mocked end of the first of the Niners, and
yeah.
I didn't really like the tape as much as Fontenot, maybe, but this is maybe someone who's like, oh, you're focusing on Fontenot too much, Juan. I have one more question before I shut up and stop interrupting you. TJ Tampa, did you like him when you watched the film, or you're kind of like, it's
I
okay?
liked them at the fourth in the 4th round.
No, no,
Got
no. I'm just saying, as a
yeah, yeah,
player,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
kind of like, Okay, now that he's on Baltimore, you like, shit, he might be really good,
Well, that's how I
right?
feel. Yeah, that's how I feel about Adisa Isaac from Penn State. I was kind of like about it, but I'm like, fuck, he fits Baltimore so damn well. They get Devontae Walker, North Carolina wide receiver.
Liked
So
him,
yeah, they
liked
get
him.
super big value in him. And then they get Rasheen Ali from Marshall, who I did a little tape on. I thought he was pretty solid. They get him in the 5th round. I
They
just
don't
felt
draft
like,
bad running backs.
yeah,
They really
dude.
don't.
I just felt like they hit so many positions here, and they got very, very good value, Brand. I love their draft a lot.
I do too. I really don't have much to add. I love Nate Wiggins, number one corner. Get him at 30. Then move up for him. Marlon Humphrey's definitely aging. They need a new lockdown. And if this next year, there's like they're going all in. If he's like an instant, if let's say he just has a Lattimore type rookie year, they're gonna be really tough to beat. They're gonna be really tough to beat.
Yeah. Some other teams that I wanted to just like honorably like mention. Uh, I think the Packers. Looking through it, I wanted to make them a loser because while watching the draft, I was just like, man, like I wouldn't have gone there. But looking back at it, dude, first of all, like they got a stacked roster. If you look at the Packers roster, they have so many like young guys right now. And the way I seen it, like their drafting was just adding more depth to their loaded freaking roster, bro. So I thought the Packers had a decent draft. Looking back at it, the Tennessee Titans, another team that I was thinking about putting like losers on, while watching it. But I love J.C. Latham. They picked up Tavondre Sweat in the 2nd round. I thought it was way too early, but man, the Titans, like we said during the stream, Max, like they're going all in. They traded for a guy in L'Jarius Sneed. They still got Hopkins. They got Calvin Ridley, Tony
They got
Pollard,
Simon Simmons
Jeffrey
and
Simmons,
Jeffrey Simmons, really good
Harold
player.
Landry's coming
Harold
back.
Landry's still there.
Yeah.
Um, One winner I just wanted to like honorable mention the Bills. I love Cole Bishop, Keon Coleman. Hey, they got a lot of ammo for next year too. Like I still don't think they're like a true contender. They still got like on the outside looking in. Let's see how good Keon Coleman is, and I think he's already winning like people over with his press conference and stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah. I thought the Cowboys had a decent draft. I know a lot of people are shitting
Yeah.
on them. I just want to
Really?
say, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of bad grades on the Dallas Cowboys. I don't feel
Eh.
like that. I like a lot of the players that they drafted.
I didn't
Um,
love Miami's draft, but it's like it still makes sense to me. Bradley Chubb's hurt,
I
Jalen
really
Phillips is
liked.
hurt,
I really liked.
Jalen Wright.
I really
Yeah,
liked
of course.
Miami's draft. I did.
Of course, they get Jalen Wright. Of course, right?
I know. Yeah. I think you called that one in the running
Yeah, it
back
was like
video.
Raheem Mostert. He's like Raheem Mostert. Go get him. They're like, who's the fast big fuck? Well, we'll take him.
Right. They got Mohamed Kamara,
That's a
the
nice little
defensive lineman. So they also got Malik Washington from I forgot
Virginia.
Virginia. Thank you. The pass catching demon. He just all he does is catches passes. So I was really on the verge of putting the Miami Dolphins in my winners category, but I had to go with the Baltimore Ravens. That was the deciding factor. Anything else, Max? Any honorable mentions? Any more comments on the draft in general?
No, it was a great season, and it was great for our channel, and it was great for us, and we really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
2025 mock coming next week. Just pull 32 names out of a hat. What's
Travis Hunter, number 1. Shador Sanders, number 2.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know anyone else. I really don't.
I know.
It's like that year Matt Barkley was the number 1 pick.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see in a couple months, man, how much different that 2025 mock draft looks. But
yeah,
appreciate you guys rocking with us. Thank you to anyone who came out to the stream, even if it was for 1 second or the whole damn thing. We did some long hours those last 2 days, man. So we appreciate everyone coming out, bro. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Anyone that's new, that's been watching our clips, that found us through there. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the OGs in here. Until next time, we will see you guys in the next video. All right. Peace.